Well, it is now official. Willie Fritz will be the next head coach at the Georgia Institute of Technology. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. Who the hell is Willie Fritz? That's what I thought as well, and we're going to talk about that. That being said, I think this is a mistake. I don't think there's anyone in the Georgia Tech fan base that is excited about this hire. I mean, it would be one thing if you got Jamie Chadwell or some other really up-and-coming coach. Most people don't even know who this guy is. He's never coached at a D1 program. Well, he has. I take that back. He coached at Georgia Southern. He's never coached at a Power 5 program before. But you can't convince me that this is a better hire than Brent Key would have been. Willie Fritz is like 1-11 against top 25 opponents. I think that's what Kelly Quinlan posted, I think, in 247. I think those were at the time they played, they were ranked. He's like 1-11. And he's been coaching a while. Brent Key is 2-1 against ranked opponents, and he has 8 weeks of experience as a head coach. And he's got double the record against ranked opponents, and Key's there already. The transition would be seamless. You already have your DC in place. You've got your quarterbacks coach in place, and Winky that's hitting the recruiting trail for you. I don't like it. After I get done with this rant, I'll lay it to rest and I'll support this hire, and we'll see what we got. But I think time is going to show this was the wrong decision to make. I think Key will end up being a head coach somewhere, possibly this coming up year. I think there's a 0% chance Key stays on the staff. There's a 0% chance Thacker stays on the staff. And I think in 5 years, we're going to say, man, we really should have hired Brent Key. Look what he's doing at School X. He's killing it. So Willie Fritz is 62 years old. That's also not great, right? Like he's older on the head coaching, I guess, scale of ages you'd like to see. Kind of feels like we're hiring like Biden, where like whether you like him or hate him, I'm not saying I like or hate him, he's really old, and he doesn't necessarily instill a lot of confidence in you due to that. But he's 62. He's from Kansas, I believe. He played a defensive back at a school no one's ever heard of, Pittsburgh State. First college coaching experience was in 1987 to 1990. He was a defensive coordinator at some school called Coffeyville. That's the other thing I don't like. When I did the My Coaching Candidates video, I did not want to hire a defensively minded head coach. I felt like we had already established a good defense. Thacker's a good defensive coordinator. Who would have known that until Coach Collins was fired? Our issues are offensive, and I wanted to bring in an offensive guy. It's not Willie Fritz. He's a defensive-minded guy. 91 to 92, he was a defensive backs coach at Sam Houston State. The most impressive thing on his resume from 93 to 96, he was at a college called Blinn. I want to say that's where Cam Newton, it's a JUCO school. I want to say Cam played at Blinn. The previous 3 seasons before he took the job, Blinn was, let me see here. They were 5-24-1. They had won 5 games in 3 years. He takes them over. He's 39-5-1, won 2 junior college championships with them in 1994 and 1996. So there's a ray of hope. So the guy does have experience turning programs around that had not had success leading up to them hiring him. That being said, when he was there, I I was 3 to 6 years old. So it was a long time ago. I'm 32 now. He then goes to Central Missouri. He's there for 13 years, 1997 to 2009. His father had coached there in like the 50s. He was 97-47, so he did have success. But in that whole time, he had 2 10-win seasons and 1 9-win season. And all of the other years of the 13, he won less games than 9. He won his conference only one time in that stretch in 2003. So he has a good record, 97-47, but he only won his conference once. So I'm not necessarily impressed with that, especially given what we had seen at a key. Anyway, 2010 to 2013, he's at Sam Houston State. This is another bright spot on his resume. He was 40-15 there. He won 2 national titles, and he was the coach of the year for that level. So looks good. Then he goes to Georgia Southern. He's only there for 2 years, 2014 and 2015. Wins the conference his first year. So this also looks good. First year at Georgia Southern, he wins the conference and takes them to their first ever bowl bid. I'm trying to remember when Georgia Southern entered Division I athletics. Either way, he was 17-7 in his 2 years there. This is another thing I don't like, though, is he kind of leaves in the middle of the night to go to Tulane. And I would think Georgia Southern is a better job than Tulane. In my opinion, I would much rather coach the Eagles. So he's been there from 2016 to 2022. And he has a losing record with Tulane. So he's 41-45. He's won his division twice. He's never won his conference. We'll see. This coming up week, they're playing Central Florida, who beat them in the regular season for the conference title. But man, that makes my stomach feel queasy. It's like, oh, we're hiring a guy that has a losing record at a school like Tulane? That don't feel right, does it? So let's go back a little. 2019, he goes 7-6. 2020, he goes 6-6. And last year, in 2021, he was 2-10. So we're hiring a coach that last year won 2 games at Tulane. Now, this year he is 10-2. He has some impressive wins. He beat Kansas State, who's currently ranked 13th. I think they're playing for their conference championship. I think he lost to Southern Miss. But you're going to have a hard time convincing me that a guy that won 2 games last year is the guy that needs to be coaching the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And it's not like this is his second year in and he had to turn around the program. This was like 6 years in to him being a coach at Tulane. They win 2 games. Again, explain to me why this makes more sense than hiring Brent Key. Because it doesn't. We're going to have kids transfer out. This is hitting the reset button on your program. So next year, if we win 3 games, we've got to be okay with that because we have a first-year head coach. You've got to give these coaches time to come in, instill their culture, recruit players that fit their system, get their staff in place. So next year's a wash now. Next year's a wash. I can't have high expectations for a first-year coach that we just hired. Now, Jeff Sims did officially announce that he's going to hit the transfer portal. This glare on my glasses looks like dew. Jeff Sims has officially hit the transfer portal. That's not a surprise to anyone after what we saw when Pyron got hurt. It does seem like Sims refused to go in. And I'll say this. I wish the guy the best. He says that he believes this is what's best for him and his career. Maybe going to Nebraska. We'll see. Wish him the best of luck. Our issues aren't really quarterback at the moment. It seems like Gibson is serviceable. Tyson, number 17, is good when you put him in the situations that fit him. And Zach Pyron looked great. So I don't know how his recovery is coming with his collarbone. I don't know if he'll miss spring practice this year or not. We'll see. But we're going to have more people transfer out for sure. So we're going to have some commits that probably decommit now. It just feels none of this feels right to me, because if we didn't hire Brent Key, it seemed like to me, then you're hiring someone that's clearly better than him. It's like, well, for all these critics of Brent Key, he doesn't have experience. Yeah, he doesn't have experience losing to top 25 teams like Willie Fritz does. You're right. He doesn't have that experience. He has the friggin' opposite experience. Just because you have experience doesn't mean that you know what you're doing. Your experience could be being a loser, which is what he did last year. Nothing about it seems right. He wins 2 games last year. He has a losing record at the school he's currently at that he's been at for like 7 years. He's like older than Bob Hope's dad. Nothing about this excites me at all. Nothing about this hire excites me at all. So I think I just have to put my faith in Jay Batt and just believe that he knows more than anyone who knows anything about Tech football knows. Hopefully this hire ends up working out. The details of this contract have not been released. They do have to release that. The reason that Lincoln Riley's contract isn't public is because USC is a private school, so they don't have to disclose the terms of his contract. So if it comes out that we've signed like Willie Fritz to some 7-year deal, $4 million, $4.5 million a year, I'm going to throw this microphone out that window because I got nothing else to say. Nothing else to say. So you guys tell me what you think. Are any of you out there excited about hiring Bob Hope's dad? Let me know.